What's up, mother subbers? Welcome back to Zelly Gaming, and welcome to Astroneer Lost in Space with me, Lost Soul. Now, you may have seen some of my videos on Astroneer on our YouTube channel at Zelly Gaming, and they were with my friend Super Gumby, and we did a series called Space Buddies. Now, unfortunately, Space Buddies had to be shut down because there was too many bugs in the game, and we were wasting a lot of days. Never mind, that was a lot of days on the game. So I'm back here in solo play in Lost in Space with me, Lost Soul. So, as I played it on PC and I played it on Xbox quite a lot, logging around 100 hours in between both of them, I'm just going to get straight into this game. So to build this base, I'm going to need compound straight away, and I'm going to need resin. Resin obviously to build the pods out, so I can build bays, and compound so I can build solar panels and everything else that's going to keep me alive on this strange planet, this new world. So straight away here I've got some compound and I'm going to put together a solar panel, I think, just to get me powered up when the sun comes up. Make sure I've got plenty of energy to get digging. And get me some tethers as well, so I can tether out and I can go further afield and look for these deposits of resin, compound and everything else that's out there. Now this will transport oxygen down the lines. It will also transport my energy down the line, so I can continue on my journey without having to come back to the habitat and kind of rejuvenate with oxygen and energy. So this second solar panel I'm going to plonk onto the habitat, and it'll give me two lots of energy, one from the solar panel on my back and one from the base as well, which will be carried down the tethers and carry it to where I'm working in the field. So I'm just going to get the rest of this compound now, just suck all that goodness up, keep it on my backpack for more tethers or whatever I need it for as I go on this journey. Now I think the sun's just about to go down. I'm surrounded by quite a bit of plant life as well, which is always good, and that's good and useful for organics. Was the sun coming up? I can't tell. One or the other. I'll make sure I suck all this up and don't leave one little drop. And one thing that always kicks my OCD off is leaving giant holes in the ground. So I'll always cover them over as much as I can if I've got the energy. So the sun is actually coming up, so I'm going to get plenty of power. I'm going to get power from the solar panel on my backpack and again from the one on my habitat, but obviously it wasn't enough. You will find that until you build bigger solar panels to go on your base. You're going to be having this battle with energy constantly as you go on, but that's part of the fun as well. Is have we got enough energy? Have we got enough this? Have we got enough that? Well, the answer is no. You can never have too much. Well, you probably could, but. So smoothing this over, it's a bit of a craft trying to smooth over the land and use the terrain tool to the best of its ability. The best thing is to pick a flat spot and drag it across. So I'm going to get these tethers out here, and I spotted a nice little resin field that I'm going to go pillage. Make sure I've got enough tethers to reach that line. I've always got more compound to make more. Now compound looks like a cloud in the ground, and resin looks like these purple tubes. It looks like kind of like coral under the sea. And as you suck this up, everything has its own use, obviously, because it wouldn't be in the game. And the best use for resin is basically base building. That's the only use I know for it at the moment, until they bring other things out which it could be useful for. But this is for extending your base. I'll get there. Extending your base. These kind of veins can run quite deep and usually spawn in like a sphere underground. So just depending on how much you've got in there, just dig kind of a semicircle. Again, smooth this. Oh, I haven't got enough energy to smooth this over anyway. I'll just run back to base, hip scop and a jump, and build me another solar panel. So I've got extra to put on, and I'll just plonk that on my habitat there. Saves me having too much on my backpack, and again that'll travel down the tethers. So the first branch of the base, I don't want to disturb these trees. I want to keep these trees here. They're lovely and beautiful, full of colour. So I'm going to pull out about here, go out as much as I can, just to make use of the space. Hopefully it's all flat land, so the base will stay flat and it'll stay nice and neat, because I've got a thing about OCD, whether it's to do with the base or whether it's to do with those holes that we keep digging up as we go along. So just trying to get this as straight as possible now. I'll pull out a second node. I've got enough for a third and a fourth. But it's completely up to you how you want to build your base. Base can be built different ways. People build them higgledy-piggledy, but I like it nice and neat. Again, OCD kicks in, and I just like to have everything where I really want it. And I like it to be nice and streamlined and nice and symmetrical, really. So the design for this, I think I'm going to base this around the trees, because I really don't want to get rid of the trees. I want to keep the nature that's around me, and I think I'm gonna, oh dear, that's a stump. I think I'm going to hide for a minute, unless it's going past. No, it's coming straight for me, so I'm just going to hide in here. Now every time you get into your habitat, as you can see on the lower screen, it says that it's saving the game for you, which is always a bobby bonus, because sometimes there's never enough saves that you need. Especially with the game sometimes being buggy. I don't want to really go on about the bugs, because hopefully there's not that many in single player than there is in the multiplayer. But it's always important that you save. If you're playing for a long stint, make sure you're saving in between, because it only needs to crash once and you've lost 20 minutes worth of effort, 20 minutes worth of searching and researching or mining or building, and it can kind of deflate you a bit where you've got to go back over it. And I even know that's happened quite a lot to me and a lot to Gumby. We've restarted several bases. It blows the sail out of you, the wind out of your sails, even blows the sail out of your wind. It's still a great game, so you're always going to pick it back up, and I just seem to not be able to put it down. It's like a bad addiction, but a good addiction in a way, because it's good for my health. Is it? I don't know. So I'm going to build this anyway. Come out a bit further. I hope that tree's not going to be in the way. I don't know if I can build out another one, but we'll wait and see as we go along. But I've got 4 nodes there at the moment, and I can always branch out and make that kind of leaf shape as we go along. So I need to venture out and go get some more resin. So I'm off on my little adventure. I've got plenty of tethers. I'm going to fill this hole in if I've got enough energy, which I should do. And just get this hole covered up so I don't fall down it and, you know, and annoy myself really. It's important as well when you got vehicles. If you lose a vehicle in one of these holes, it can be very tedious and difficult to get back out. And on the odd occasion you tend to lose them. The world will swallow them up. So I think that's a good one. I'm just going to have a little nosy round and see where I can see. It's quite clear. So I'm going to pick these tethers back up. Now I've got a habit of picking the tethers back up. And also within that there's another bug. When you pick tethers up, say if you're picking a line of 20 tethers up, they will stack on top of each other and will not create a new stack in your backpack. So the best thing to do is go into your backpack, drop the tethers that you've got already collected in there on the floor, and then pick the other tethers up so it creates another stack. Now I believe that they'll fix this little bug. It's something very simple, I'm sure, but then again I'm not a developer, so you know, I'm going to keep that comment a bit secured. But that's another thing, is you can lose your tethers, and whether it's made to be that way, but I don't think there's just kind of a one-use thing. I think that's obviously something in the game that's got to be repaired. And I'm trying to put tethers down too quick. There we go, linked up, ready to go. Also that they transport oxygen and energy. Ooh, compound. They will transport, well they won't transport, but they'll emit light as well, so it's great in caves when you can't see. You've got a light on your terrain tool anyway, but it's always good to have that bit of extra light so you can see what is going on around you. Well, I've run out of tethers, make a few more just to transport the energy when the sun comes up and get rid of the rest of this compound. And I might just head over here because I spy another compound field, and beyond that compound field, if I see right, there's some resin. No, my eyes deceive me. Oh, but I found a cave though, so that's always a good thing. The caves aren't never too far away from your base. Well, in the several bases that I've built, there's always caves nearby. A little tip from my point of view is it always creates a little archway at the beginning of a tunnel, just to kind of mark where it is, because I don't tend to like leaving plenty of tethers out, because leaving loads of tethers all over your world, ooh, bit of resin, Leaving tethers all over your world can slow your frame rate down because there's a lot going on, especially if you've got an extensive tunnel system underground. It can get a bit tedious. So use your train tool, just pump upwards, but do it gently, because if you go too fast you can get stuck into it and it will glitch you underground. And another one on this side. Slowly just build it up. I do like the way you get different colours within the train as well when you're developing, so you've got blues and browns there. And just swing around here and just arch that over. Just connect it up, and there we go, we got a visible sign to say, hey, there's a cave here. Oh, there we go. So I might go and have a look at that resin because I desperately need some, just to expand my base a little bit more. Again, looks like coral, those little purple tubes, and I'm out of power. Now it can be very tedious once you've run out of power. You are just chipping away, just holding that trigger button down and sucking it a bit up and then continuously doing that. But you know, you'll get there eventually. And the best time is daytime. Nighttime. Daytime. And there's another resin field just at the back of this one, so I'm going to double up, put some tethers over to that one, head back, I think, because I don't think the sun's coming up. Oh, maybe it is. I can see it just over the horizon there. We'll just get these last few little bits, last few bits of resin, and head back to base. I think I can cut across here. Makes a bit more sense. I should really run the tethers over, but you know, I've got to crack on. I've got work to do. I'm busy boy. So I mean, this game, Astroneer, it's in the pre-alpha stage. It's absolutely fantastic. As I say, I've been super glued to it. I played it on PC, I played it on Xbox. I'm currently playing it on Xbox One. I'm just going to build a platform here because I don't want to disturb that tree a bit further on. And then I'm going to start my leaf shape. So just go around the edges, pull this node out, turn that one into a platform. And then I'll do the same on the other side, just to make it nice and symmetrical. There we go. So as I was saying, I played on Xbox, played it on PC. There is a big difference between the both of them. You don't seem to get as many glitches in the PC version as you do to the Xbox. I know that they fixed them with the same kind of patches, which can conflict a bit. Obviously it's completely different from a computer system to a console. But hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So I'm just going to head back to my resin fields and just see what I've got. There's also, if I've seen correctly, then there's like a little vein. You see like these crystals that stick out the ground, and they've got little arrows pointing in. And what they are, they're like a constant limited supply, if that kind of makes sense. You know, it'll always have resin in there, but once it's depleted, it takes time to regenerate, and you can always go back to it. So if you're really desperate and you can't find resin for miles, you know, you've always got that there. You just can't abuse it. So I think I've gone deep enough there. I don't think there's any more resin, so I'll just, while the sun's up, I will just smooth this over, make the most of my power. So again, like the little tip for this is find the ground that you kind of want at the same level. Then right trigger, and then just slowly drag over, and it will just form into each other. And I love the way it kind of just molds together and makes these little creases and dips and bumps. So just pump the last of this up. I just used all my energy. Again, until you get a proper solar panel on your base, you're going to struggle for consistent power. And you can see the power coming down your tethers. You know, you get those yellow bands, along with your blue for your oxygen, but your oxygen is constant. So I'll suck up all this resin. Yummy, 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 yummy. Good for my tummy. Speaking of food, you never eat on this game. So I always question, are you human? But in one of my other videos on Space Buddies, when you get into your habitat, there's a kind of what I call your soul standing outside the habitat. And if you look very closely at the helmet, you will see the closest thing to a human head. Unless, you know, there's aliens out there that do just look like us, which is possible, very plausible. But you never eat in this game, so whether that comes in or whether it's just not the guy's style that they want to go for. But it is intriguing that you don't need hydrating, you don't need food. Another thing that I've noticed is there's no water, there's no liquids. Whether that'll be brought into the game at a further point, we don't know. But again, it's at a pre-alpha stage, it's very, very primitive, but for a pre-alpha it's fantastic. And it runs quite well. It's just a multiplayer, it's having a lot of issues. But now on single player, you know, it's a bit lonely. I haven't got Super Gumpy to talk to, but I've got you guys just to chunner on and chunner on and chunner on and tell you what I'm doing in the world and what I'm thinking and what's going to go on and what's going on about the game. So again, OCD, collect my tethers. There's nothing further out there. Let's not waste them and collect them up. Now, the little tip that I told you about collecting tethers before and that you lose them, I don't always do it myself. So it's one of those things you've kind of got to learn and drill into your head yourself if it really bothers you. But compound is quite common, so I don't know. So I head back to base now with all this goody resin, and let's finish off what we started. We should be able to build the last two platforms on our base. But before I do that, I'm just going to tether back out here all the way to that new cave, because at some point I'm going to have to go out there, go down that cave and see what is going on, because there's stuff in caves that you can't get on the surface, and there's stuff on the surface that you can't get in the caves. So finish off this platform, another 2 resin there, and I think I'll pull out this side of the leaf. So on this one I'm going to come out 2 nodes, and the second node is going to be a platform. There we go, and pop another one on here. Now you'll notice that I've got no in-game sound. The reason for that is because my recording went a bit doolally, so I'm having to pre-record again. So you'll have to forgive me, I'm re-watching this and recording over it, which is not what I usually do. I usually like to commentate live as I'm going along. But I've recorded 3 episodes worth of footage, and it was either you don't listen to my voice, which is maybe a good thing, or you know, I get to commentate on kind of what's going on. So forgive me for that, but after these 3 episodes are out, you will get live commentary all the way. I'm trying to do my best here to keep up and remember what I've done, but I've got an hour and 40 minutes worth of footage here to go through, so you'll have to bear with me. So I'm just going to tether back out here, and you can just plonk them down as you run. And that's a good thing as well. You don't have to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. And I've run out of tethers, so I'm going to make some more. Again, tethers are relatively cheap, common compound, and I think you get 11 if you count them on your backpack. I think you get 11, 2 rows of 4 and a row of 3 in the center, which isn't too bad. So head back to base, and I'm going to branch out this way. Now I usually do it in like if you think of a pizza. Ooh, that was very close to my base. Nice chunk of resin there. If you think of a pizza in slices, you want to kind of head in segments, so you're cutting off into different directions, and you're getting to search more of what's around you, and you're not retracing your steps all the time, or making one giant tether to go around in a giant circle, and you end up with like a snail curly shell around your base of tethers. And again, the more tethers you have, the more chance it has of dropping your frame rate, and that's not what you want to happen, because it's such a beautiful game. You don't want to stutter. I've had these issues before. So I've got enough resin now. I'm going to bang this on here, make myself a platform, and bring the opposite side of the leaf out now. Again, keeping it all symmetrical, keeping my OCD in check, and all will be gravy. Now, if you want to know about the bugs in this game that I've come across and experienced, again, check out Space Buddies, go through them, and just go have a look. There's so many worlds that we've had to force restart again, just because it's been near impossible, and we've lost hours, and I'm talking like an 8-hour session developing a base and doing that several times over. Again, it can you know, kind of deflate you a bit. Ooh, so over here it looks like a pile of golf balls. What this is kind of like a drop, and you'll see inside once I get close. Boop, there we go, it'll pop open. Ha, give them a little kick. And inside we've got compound, not fantastic, and a nice chunk of aluminium. Now that aluminium is in its refined state, so it's a block. Aluminium, the other state is you get an ore which you have to then smelt down. So I'm just going to head further on past the golf balls. I can see another set of golf balls in the distance, but I might leave that for now. Make some more tethers and keep going. Now it seems to me that I've got an abundance of compound around here, but not. Ooh, giant field of resin. There we go. Not that much resin, but I think I've just been. And that's a shuttle and a satellite. So I'm a very lucky boy. I've got 2 things that are really close to me. I might actually go pillage that satellite. But this is a huge resin. This is a huge resin patch, which will give me quite a lot of resin to put on my nose, so I can get most of my base kind of built with that, which is good. So I'll jog back along. It's very hard to get lost on this game. I say that if you go out in a truck, it's very easy to get lost. But when you're on foot, you just follow your tethers. And I feel, oh, more resin. I'm eating my words here when I thought there wasn't enough resin around here. Plenty of compound. So I'm going to finish this platform, and now we're nice and symmetrical, and I've got enough compound to start on the last section of this branch. So I'm going to pull this out, probably 3 nodes this time, just so it goes further out, and I've got that same kind of symmetrical leaf. That's what I'm going for, is a natural kind of look to it. So there we go, and that one will be a platform. It's looking good. As you can see, it's taking that kind of shape, even though the leaves aren't leaf shape like on Earth. A bit round with holes in, like little donuts. So soak up this resin that I found close to me base again. I don't know if I really want to do that or save it.